What's up, guys? All right, I had a private Skype student, and we were getting into this idea of playing phrases and making it conversational, like a language, all right, and moving forward from where we just were. Okay, so when we have something like this, and this student, very competent, can learn guitar solos really well, but we get the usual, and I know I always use this example, but I got nowhere to go. And what we want to do, the reason that we have nowhere to go is we don't know where we just were. So it's just like speaking. We don't know what we just said. We have to get used to hearing and being able to pick up what we just said to then continue what we're speaking. It sounds so silly, but when you have a guitar solo that comes in, that is not random. And if you rewind and watch that, and I'm trying to do that right off the cuff, right? If you rewind and watch that, it does sound like there's 4 different sections, right? But you'll hear some inner closeness, inner phrasing that was very similar to each other that are right next to each other within a bigger phrase. So there's a lot of conversation happening in what I just played that doesn't sound random to people that know the sort of language of music and guitar improv, where it's almost like if you're sitting down in another country and you're hearing people speak, it doesn't sound like it. You're not familiar with the language, so it just sounds like it's a stream of words that you don't really know. And that's why I think when you hear that example, it does, in our minds when we're just starting, sound like, you know what I mean? But there is no direction there. So we have to break it down super small, super easy, and build it up from there. Like I said, we're forgetting where we came from. We're forgetting what we just said. It's almost like that 5-year-old that's like pulling at your sleeve. I know I used this example before, but a 5-year-old that's pulling at your sleeve and he's just telling you like random thing after random thing after random thing, and as adorable as that is, it doesn't go anywhere. And the new funny story doesn't have anything to do with the last sentence that he just said. So just like memorizing a language, learning a language is about direct repetition. Okay, if you can't say the same sentence over and over, something super simple like "where is the bathroom," in whatever particular language, you're not going to be able to learn more complex phrases, and you're not going to be able to guide a conversation. So this is the exercise that we did. Now I always start this with play something simple 4 times in a row, something super simple, and I'll even give an example. You know, something as easy as that. That's exactly what I want. And usually that doesn't work. And as competent as this student is, or any of my students, or, you know, I feel like as I was, maybe not, but when I was learning this stuff, it's just kind of like, this particular student didn't even want to start. Wait, so hold on, like how simple, you know? Or how, okay, where? I didn't say where, it doesn't matter where, there's no backing track, doesn't matter the rhythm, just same thing 4 times in a row. So then it comes down to this, and this is where I want you guys to start, if this is not something that you're used to, is give me 4, the exact same phrase, all right? You're only allowed 4 notes per phrase, and you can only use the 5 and the 8 on the bottom, right? And this exercise is great because you do it, all right? And so what the goal is to like try to think, you know, right off the top of your head, but if you just have... Right? Okay, perfect. That was exactly what I wanted. Now, the goal is to then, right after those 4, change it completely. Da, 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 da. That's 5 notes. But that is our general idea. So 4 of the same, 4 of the same, but different than the first 4, and keep that going. This is going to sound very, very mundane, right? But that is our goal, is to be able to listen to what we just said and repeat it slowly in these slower phrases, right? These easier to digest phrases, so that when we do get up to something fast and something a little bit more crazy, we're able to listen and mimic those that we're kind of pumping out even faster, just like speaking a different language or your native language. You're able to just go, 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 knowing exactly what you just said. You don't have to memorize a full speech or anything. You can just go. Where learning a new language, we have to start from the basics. Even though, because if we, like I said, if we don't, it just sounds like random words and like nothing's really coming out. So take that exercise, try it. I mean, you can do that forever. No backing track, not even a click, you know what I mean? Now start expanding a little bit, not just doing 4 notes, getting a little bit longer. It's harder to memorize longer phrases, okay? So now we have like, all right, 4 of those. Then come up with another one that's just as long. And expanding this. This is just, it doesn't have to be amazing or like a nice melody. It just has to be 4 of the same thing, right? So you guys are starting simple with just a couple notes, you know, expanding a little bit more. You want this to sound repetitious. You want this to sound mundane. Are you just memorizing what you just played, okay, and being able to repeat it? Now we could start moving forward. The next part of this exercise is we go back, we do smaller phrases again, but you're going to play a phrase and then play something very close to it. Then play the first phrase again, and then you could do like an A-B, or this last one can just be something also close, but a little bit different. So if you just had something like, all right, that was your first phrase, right? And then you did, cool. It had something to do with it. The rhythm matched up a little bit, right? Then you do back to that first one, and then a little bit different, but not wildly different, okay? Now we're starting to get into the subtle changes, right? And all of these subtle changes, whether they're rhythmically or changing some of the notes, start to, excuse me, start to show how playing a similar phrase, we could still move forward in what we're saying because we're not playing the exact same thing and staying stagnant, right? So this is kind of like moving forward, you know, so anything. Each one of those 4 phrases had something new, started the same, right? That was kind of like the anchor, is each one of them started the same, you know? So in this particular lesson, you know, stop it here and play a few that start the same and end a little bit differently, but the rhythms are generally the same, okay? So you have that, I'm gonna start it exactly the same, and then change it a little bit. Right? These are all like these little changes. Now let's do the same thing. Let's then pick 4 that are a little longer. I'll take the same one actually, just to make it easier, right? Something close to it, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a different beginning. So instead of, it'll be like, so each one ended with that, right? But each beginning was a little bit different. So now you can like pause and try a bunch of those, right? These are all kind of moving forward. It is amazing to think about how this will form eventually. Like if you're doing a jam and you're just, right, each one of those may have sounded completely different, right? But there is an element that ties all of those together, and it isn't just complete randomness. So that was the lesson. I really wanted to put that out there for you guys because of how difficult it was for my student to do this. And the difficulty isn't in the physical ability or even the musical ability. It's that this is not how we think of when we grab a guitar. We think like, oh, I want to play. I gotta play more. I gotta play more notes. Because that's kind of what we're hearing. You'll start to hear the differences in the guitar solos that you like based on this kind of stuff. And also, this is not something that you have to use all the time. We have like these levels of sort of super strict, kind of 4 phrases or close to the 4 phrases, kind of what we're working on. And then we do have some chaos up here. It's nice to. Right, that has a little bit, that got a little chaotic there, kind of tied back in a little bit at the end, but not so strict at the end that it started in the beginning was pretty strict, got chaotic, and being able to navigate through this whole thing of how far away from 4 phrases you want to get, right, and how close to 4 phrases, how much you want to change them, and having this whole spectrum is honestly what makes your guitar solos seemingly just go on forever. Like you could just keep going and keep going. Just like me when I'm talking. Cool, awesome. I hope that helped, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.